Mr. President, Ben Franklin here. It's been called to my attention that we've got a mess going with the deceptions that have been perpetrated on the American public about the tragedy of 9/11. Mr. Charlie Sheen, you may be familiar with him through his wonderful TV show 2.5 Men, has requested through seance that I come and speak to you directly, because I understand that you are now supporting the commission report, the official story as it's called, in spite of the fact that 60% of the commissioners have made public statements that the report was influenced to deceive by the military and spy agencies of America for political purpose. This is not the more perfect union my founding fathers and I created. It's not our purpose. It's my understanding that the head commissioner, Max Cleland, resigned his post over the deception. That Commissioners Robert Carey, Timothy Romer, and John Lehman have publicly admitted to feeling pressure by the cabinet at the time to compromise the report. We need to have the trust of the American people in the American government. If you don't trust them with information, they're not going to trust you to govern. And this is terrible. It's my understanding that the event of 9/11 led the Bush administration to remove certain freedoms guaranteed by the Bill of Rights from the American public. This is absolute insanity. Any person willing to give up freedoms may not be worthy of those freedoms. Unbelievable. It's time to question the Patriot Act. It reaches too far into people's lives. It gives too much power to people who should have controls on their power. It's time to question warrantless wiretaps. You can't do that in a country that supports freedom. The freedom of the individual is too important. It's time to come clean to the American public about all of the events leading to and following the disaster of 9/11. It's time for you to restore the American public's expectation of an open government. Now, our government has not been swift in the past in investigating major earth-shattering crimes. It took 11 days to investigate the attack of Pearl Harbor. It took 17 days to investigate the JFK assassination. We're going backwards. And we're increasing the pace, because now I find out it's taken 440 days to begin the investigation into 9/11. 440 days, in spite of a call for an investigation by the Secretary of Defense 5 hours after the incident. There's no way to justify this. The American people should not have to put up with that. You're going backwards. As the president, you have the power to change that. Unbelievable. The other thing that really has got my goat, our military personnel has a bad history of deception of the American people. The USS Maine incident, the sinking of the Listania, and the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Those things shouldn't happen. You need to trust the American people. They have good judgment. They're intelligent, kind, honest people for the most part. You can believe in them. It's now been brought to my attention that the most recent ex-vice president, a guy named Dick Cheney, probably, likely, almost for sure, was promoting a plot to deceive the American people by staging attacks on American naval vessels by Navy SEALs. Those attacks were to be staged to look as if the government of Iran was attacking America for the purpose of promoting war between our two countries. This just makes me crazy thinking about us starting wars or justifying wars or gaining the American public's backing for wars under those pretenses. It's just wrong. You can't do it. Unbelievable. Now, the previous administration to yours was famous for manipulation of facts. I don't know how you manipulate facts. Facts are supposed to be facts. The American people should not have to put up with that for their government. I'm calling on you now to open the doors of our government. You promised in your campaign a more free and open government. It's time to deliver on that promise. It's time to make all the data on the investigation of the 9/11 tragedy public. It's time to get a new commission to study not only the work of the old commission, but the actual events. And whatever you do, don't let Dick Cheney's fingers get in it. He's already not only tried to deceive the American public, but when Congress asks for answers, he hides behind immunity. He hides his people behind immunity. How are we to trust the government if, when any question comes up, our second in charge of the United States of America, the Vice President, says, I don't have to answer those questions? It's just not right. I'm depending on you. The American public is depending upon you. The entire world is depending upon you to correct these wrongs. Only one thing gives me hope. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I believe that beer is proof that God loves us. And after going through this, there's nothing I could use more right now than an ice cold beer. Now, I'm done ranting for the moment. The ball is in your court, President Obama. Don't let us down. Thank you very much.